Hola a los estudiantes de Señora Miller de uh, El Camino High School. My name is Lauren Dakanai, and I am a peregrino, a pilgrim on the Camino de Santiago. Currently, I'm in the town of Ponferrada, and I'm at the Templar Castle. The Templar Castle was constructed many years ago, I believe around the 1200s, to protect the pilgrims who were traveling in pilgrimage from all over Europe to Santiago de Compostela. And this is the resting place of one of the 12 disciples of Jesus Christ. And so the faithful have traveled there for many, many years, since the 800s. And I'm currently traveling there. And when you travel and do a pilgrimage, you can do it for many, many different reasons these days. My reasons for doing the pilgrimage are just of cultural interest, but also a religious pilgrimage as well. So Mrs. Miller asked me to pull together a quick video for you. Currently, I'm taking about 30 days to go from Leon, Spain. So I started in Leon, Spain, and I'm walking about 189 miles to the west to to Santiago de Compostela. And so it's a lot of different walking. It's walking on the pavements, either on the sidewalks or roads, but there are also very many ancient trails with many different types of topography. And I have given Mrs. Miller the link to my blog, which gives a lot more detail. So if you're interested, you're always welcome to check that out and see what's going on there. But most people come from the very south of France in a town called Saint-Jean-Pied-à-Port. And so that's St. John, foot in the door. And it's foot in the door because that's where you leave to start your this particular Camino. It turns out there's about 20 to 25 different paths that you can take. There's one that you can take from Portugal to Santiago de Compostela. There's one that's called the Portuguese. There's one that comes from the center of Spain, and that's called La Plata, the silver route. There's one that comes across the northern coast of Spain, and that's called the Norteño. And then there's one between here and the Norteño, which is one of the more ancient ways, and that is called the Primitivo. So that's just a few of the many different ways that you can get here. The cultural aspects of this is that this is just an ancient place. Many of these places here started as Celtic ruins. So there's a very strong Celtic influence in this region of Spain. And so there was all the way back to the Druids and that kind of thing. Then there was a lot of historical aspects from the church. Santiago de Compostela and Astorga and Leon were three of the first churches outside of Rome in the Catholic Church. So they are very ancient and have a lot of interesting history. Then there was all kinds of European history. This is a site where Napoleon fought against the Spaniards, and also they also fought against the English. So there have been actually English encampments here Sir John Moore is one that I can recall from my recent readings here in Ponferrada. So there was the Napoleonic Wars. There were natural things like various disasters, great earthquakes and that kind of thing. So all kinds of really cool historical and cultural types of things. And so that's what I'm doing here. I used to be a teacher, a chemistry teacher over at Simi High School. And luckily I lived right next door to Mrs. Miller. And so we've been friends for a long time, and she asked me to pull this together. So I'm walking about, I'm actually going really slow because I'm old. And I'm actually taking about anywhere from 8 to as much as 15 miles per day. So that's actually kind of considered slow. And then also I'm taking rest days where I'm not doing any hiking at all, and I'm touring around like I'm doing today here at the Templar Castle in Ponferrada. So I'm doing it much slower than the average peregrino, I think, and I'm also doing a shorter route, and I'm taking more rest days. So that's just because I'm a little bit old and creaky, and I've been doing a lot of hiking as a scout leader and as a scout, and I ran cross country over at Buena High School in Ventura. So my knees don't work as good as they used to. But anyway, it's a fascinating thing to do just because you get to see so much of the culture and history of Europe, and in particular of Spain. And then also you get to sample all the really good food. Last night I had a dish called El Rey del Bierzo. I'm in the Bierzo district of Spain, and the Bierzo district is known for its wine and sausages. And so a botillo is a special kind of sausage that's made with different cuts of pork, and I won't get into those because some of them are kind of gross, but you can look it up, botillo, Botillo, and it's spiced with garlic and paprika. This is a region where there's a lot of paprika that has been made, that is grown, and so they use it as a fundamental cooking spice. And so that's kind of interesting. So I was able to have that. It's a kind of a classic meal for here. It includes the botillo. It includes chorizo, which is a type of spicy sausage, and it included beverage, like a cabbage, garbanzo beans, and potato. So delicious meal, really. So anyway, that is sort of the introduction. I hope this will work out for everybody here, just as an introduction to what it means to be on the Camino. And then you're all welcome to check out my blog, and you can get the link from Mrs. Miller. So whenever we see somebody who is a peregrino, who is a pilgrim on the Camino, or if we pass them by on the road, or if they pass us, we say buen camino. So buen camino to you, and hopefully sometime you'll be able to make plans to come out and try this wonderful experience.